again. Today I am going to be doing a review, and these are my 5-star reviews. I decided to do something new, and I know I'm not on my bookshelf or anything, but I decided that I can do my 5-star reviews. I've only did 2 5-stars in the month of May, and the first one is Mockingjay, which well, actually the first one is from this book, and it's called The Telltale Heart. This is a kind of book with short stories, and Telltale Heart is a really good story, and let me tell you why I think that. Number one, Telltale Heart is about this guy who, well, it's not a guy or girl, but it's basically about this guy who kills this man, and it's all because he has a glass eye. And it is very wrong, and indeed it's wrong, but it's really amazing how Poe kind of gravitates and makes the reader feel like we feel bad for this person, or this person is generally afraid of this eye. He's fearing his life. He is freaking out, and he's just creeped out by this one thing, a glass eye. And maybe it's a peck of it, but he writes really well. And Poe does have really, really amazing writing and stuff. And in this book, we can see a kind of creepy picture right here of the man with the eye. And it is creepy. I mean, you look at that old guy and you're like, what the heck is wrong with him? His hair is all whack. Creepy. But, this guy ends up killing him, and he ends up confessing to the cops. And I really love the writing and the pose in this story. So I really love the, the prose in the story. Let me find it. Okay. The prose in the story, so, I love the beginning, it says, true, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I have been and am, why will you say that I am mad? The disease has sharpened my sense, not destroyed, not dulled them. So yeah, he kind of starts out very nervous, and he's like, I'm nervous, I'm not mad, and kind of saying that he's not mad. And it's just a really amazing story. I love when he finds the thing, which it says right here, I talked my fluently and with heightened voice, yet the sound increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. So it's just really amazing. And then this one says, I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards. But the noise arose all over and continually increased. It grew louder, louder, louder. And still the man chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not? So, and then right here it says, I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now again, hark, louder, 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 louder. Villains, I shrieked, dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. It's here, here. It is the beating of his hideous heart. Because he goes crazy. And I absolutely love this story. It kind of draws you in from the start to finish, and I absolutely love this book. The next book I'm reviewing is obviously you saw it, was Mockingjay. Now this one does have spoilers, so you guys have to beware. And I love this book. Number one, I love this book because it just has a really good element and really good ending to it. This is about Katniss, and at the beginning it says, "My name is Katniss. Why am I dead? Why am I not dead? I should be dead." So, we start off it's just a really lovely book. And I'm so happy that I read this one. And it has 3 parts, I believe, just like all the rest of them. We have part 1, the Ashes, kind of with the overcome of the bombing. As you remember in the last book, in Catching Fire, there was a bomb that blew up, and this is kind of the afterwards. So she's kind of at home, and I love this first chapter where she says, "I stare down at my shoes, watching as a fine layer of ash settles on warm leather. This is the bed I shared with my sister Prim. Stood over there, the kitchen table. This is the bomb after they bombed the 13 or whatever, or 12. Over there was the kitchen table with the bricks of chimney which collapsed in a charred heap, provided a point of reference for the rest of the house. How else could I indulge myself in the sea of gray?" And I absolutely love that beginning paragraph so much because it kind of describes like what she sees and what kind of her viewpoint of this, what has finally happened, what she feared would come true. I love different things like but I love this book. It's just really, really good. It also has some, and I didn't like anything, but it has really good, she gets addicted to morphine, and it's just really amazing how she does that. She right here, I love this one too. "Today I might lose them both. I tried to imagine a world where both Gale and Peter's voices are seized, hands still, eyes unblinking. I'm standing over their bodies, having a last look, leaving the room where they lie. When I open a door, step out into the world, there's a tremendous void, a pale gray nothingness that holds my future. That's all my future holds." And she kind of wishes that they wouldn't go into the war, and that's like part of the war. I love the characters. We find that Finnick plays an important role in this too. They go by and try to find Mr. Snow, and Mr. Snow is so amazing. Like, the character of Mr. Snow is amazingly evil, and they try to kill him, and they do, but they have to go through a lot of judgment, so a lot of people get killed. I think BT gets killed he gets ripped in half or something, I believe. It's like a rated R movie, so I'm really excited to see how they take this, because I think the other 2 movies were PG, and I hope that this book is this just definitely sounds rated R. It has war in this. Obviously, there's war. There's the rebellion. There's people going after Mr. Snow. There's people killing each other and things killing the other people. We have I think there's like a lizard hybrid that kills Finnick, I believe, and yeah, and it's just really amazing. I really love the flashbacks in this too, like kind of when Peter goes nuts and he like literally goes nuts and he doesn't remember who Katniss is and thinks that she killed or destroyed his home, that's it's her fault, and he goes after her almost and tries to kill her. So every time they kind of try to implement memories, and obviously his memories were tampered by the government, and so he's like, oh my god, I hate Katniss, and he went from loving Katniss to hating her and wishing her dead, and I absolutely love this book. I thought it was really, really good. Just the whole premise of the book, and it's just, and the story, and how much it is. If you haven't read the trilogy, those of you who haven't read the trilogy, which probably hasn't been listening to this spoiler review, but for those of you who haven't, I really suggest you reading Hunger Games first and then going into it, but I suggest you don't go into it expecting really happy thoughts, because it is not a real happy, like, shit happens in this book. It's some serious shit happens in this book. But I also love the ending, and I'm going to go ahead and read that right now. And this is my favorite part right here. It says, Peter and I grow back together. There are still moments where he clenches the back of the chair and hangs on until the flashbacks are over. I wake screaming from the nightmares of mutts and lost children. But his arms are there to comfort me, and eventually his lips. On the night I feel that thing again, the hunger that overtook me on the beach. I know this would not have happened anyway. This is what I need to survive. That what I need to survive is not Gale's fire, kindled with rage and hatred. I have plenty of fire myself. What I need is a dandelion in the spring. The bright yellow that means rebirth instead of destruction. The promise that life can go on no matter how bad our losses. That it can be good again. And only Peter can give me that. So after when he whispers, you love me, real or not real, I tell him real. And that's a really good quote from the line, because they use it constantly, like Gale, or not Gale, but Peter uses it constantly. Is this real love or is this fake? Is this for the TV show? And stuff like that. It's just really good. And I also love this part, which is the epilogue. I'm just going to read this for you too. They play in the meadow, the dancing girl with the dark hair and blue eyes, the boy with blonde curls and gray eyes, struggling to keep up with her on his chubby toddler legs. It took them 5, 10, 15 years for me to agree, but Peter wanted them so badly. When I first felt her stirring inside me, I was consumed with a terror that felt as old as life itself. Only the joy of holding her in my arms could tame it. Carrying him was a little bit easier, but not much. The questions are just beginning. The arenas have been completely destroyed. The memorial is built. There are no more Hunger Games, but they teach them about them at school. And the girl knows we played a role in them. The boy will know in a few years. How can I tell them about the world without frightening them to death? My children who take the words of the songs for granted. Crap.